Huh? There isn't even a downhill track there? Round 9 of the 2025 Downhill World Cup Series at Whiteface Mountain, near Lake Placid, has had a bit of drama during the build-up. Literally. When the race was first announced almost 1 year ago today, the reaction was split. Those that didn't know much about Lake Placid were like, yes! A new venue! Finally a departure from the same old tracks. Those that knew a little bit more about Lake Placid were a bit more like, huh? There isn't even a downhill track there? And it was true. Whiteface Mountain used to have a bike trail network, but it was shut down in 2019 by the Olympic Regional Development Authority, who manage the mountain. Who is the ORDA, or ORDA for short? They were set up to manage the Olympic facilities that were built for the 1980 Winter Olympic Games, with Whiteface Mountain being the snow sports venue.
The games began on a blustery winter's day at the Lake Placid Horse Show grounds. First came the men's downhill, and a big surprise there. Frank Gifford and Bob Beatty described it.
Here is Leonard Stock. You saw him a moment ago, came over in the Austrian team as an alternate. He's 21 years old. He just literally skied his way onto the four-man downhill team for Austria. He's out on the course. He's a good giant slalom skier, Bob, and it should help him up here with the turns.
The problem he's had this year is he's been hurt. He hurt his knee, ankle, and shoulder in Valdez there in a fall. You can't really hurt too much more than that, I guess. Kind of reminds me of something Jean-Claude Keely said the other day, and that was, to win, you have to risk loss. You have to go all out.
The few people that have been here during training know that he has been exceptional in training. Here he comes, and he has taken the lead.
It was Austria's day then, more specifically Leonard Stock's. All the rewards that come to an Austrian ski hero would be his now. That night the games ended, and we all went home. But we would never, never forget.
How cool was that old footage? Anyway, so ORDA shut the bike park down in 2019, yet there were mentions the following year of a Downhill World Cup visiting the mountain, which is confusing, as this bid for hosting the World Cup would be led by the same organisation that shut the bike park down. I don't know the specifics, but I do know hosting a successful and well-liked World Cup event can be the spark to develop a venue into a world-class destination. So this feels like ORDA wanted a clean slate, a new beginning which might provide the foundation for a bigger and better bike park in the future. Provided they do it right. Oh, Lake Placid has hosted Olympics in the past, so a mountain bike race should be well within its capabilities. And it is. They hosted a round of the cross-country World Cup Series last year, which was well received. But the cross-country venue is at Mount Van Hoevenberg, southeast of Lake Placid, and it only has an elevation change of 135 metres, which does not make for a great downhill bike track. So they needed to build a course, and Whiteface Mountain has the elevation required, 470 beautiful lift-assisted metres to be exact. Now all they have to do is build a track, which is actually a monumental undertaking. Global Action Sports Solutions were the chosen contractor, who have famously constructed the Red Bull Rampage main features, as well as many other successful mountain bike facilities. And they began construction this year. But building anything in the Adirondack Forest Preserve is heavily regulated, as it should be. So there is a detailed permitting process that can take time to get approval. ORDA didn't have approval. And with the race rapidly approaching and close to $500,000 invested just into the fee for hosting the event, they made the decision to press ahead. It may have been due to this, but not long after construction started, Global Action Sports Solutions actually pulled out of the build project. According to the company owner, the already tight schedule of the construction was made unworkable by design changes, miscommunications, and agreement adjustments with ORDA, which in his opinion forced him to step away from the job. So ORDA had to quickly change contractors, brought in Backslope Trail Building, who previously built the track for the cross-country venue the prior year. Working with Warner Brothers Discovery Technical Delegate Rory Cunningham and expert advisor Aaron Gwynn, they finished the track just in time for the race this week. And speaking from pure bike fan perspective, it looks great. An awesome mix of fresh, natural terrain with multi-lines contrasted by wide open sections with super high-speed jumps and berms. Great to ride and watch, as long as the weather is nice. Benny with the weather? Huh? The weather? Yeah, it looks good. Oh, thank God. Anyway, this is the point where things really kicked into 6th gear. The director of a non-profit organization named Protect the Adirondacks heard about the construction, checked in with the Adirondack Park Agency to see the permit details, which didn't exist. She then visited the mountain and found the track already built without permits, and trees were cut down in the process, which is just a huge no-no when it comes to forest preservation areas. Protect the Adirondacks reported this to the Adirondack Park Agency, and now the government Department of Environmental Conservation, who have a new leader wanting to make an impact, are making a point of holding ORDA to account, which they should. ORDA should have started the process earlier so they didn't have to make calls that caused these issues, and the reactions from the opposing side should have been more measured considering the mountain land is actually classified for intensive use. Well, that took a turn. I didn't mean to go on for so long, but I just kept finding out more the more I researched it. We should be catching up with Aaron Gwynn during the track walk very soon, so jump over to the next video for more updates on that subject and context on this exciting new course. Right, not much time left now. What's going on with the racers? That's why you're here. So there have been weeks of speculation about what's happening with the YT mob as the main sponsor, YT, went into administration. Their big truck disappeared from the races, there were rumours of riders not getting paid that started floating around, and most of the recent races, they even stopped wearing the YT mob race kit. And it sounds like Valley isn't running off to Commensalizar as rumoured, and the mob will see out the season together. We're catching up with the crew to find out a bit more about what's been happening with the team this season and what comes next. And that vid should be out on Thursday, so subscribe so you don't miss it. Talking of Valley, she has a strong lead in the overall coming into Lake Placid despite having 0 wins to her name, which shows how consistent she has been all year. I'd kind of love for her to take the overall win without getting a race win this season. That'd just be a crazy stat. That hasn't happened since the weird COVID season where Matt Walker won the overall and we only had 2 venues and there was double rounds at each of them. We are going to tracks where Gracie Hemstreet will be strong though, so it wouldn't surprise me to see Gracie win those races, but Valley still takes the overall. Like Valley, Max Allrun has had a consistent season as well this year and sits happily atop of the overall, but he also has 3 wins to his name this season alongside the World Champ stripes. Despite that, due to the number of points that are awarded for juniors, Max only leads by 22 points over Asa Vermette, who's just pulled everyone's pants down at the last round in Lenzerheide. Now in North America, if we're talking of a round-by-round basis, it feels like it's advantage Asa, and this one will come down to the wire. The only category that doesn't feel like a nail-biting knife balance is the junior women. Rosa Zierl has been a smooth operator, ticking off win after win, building a commanding lead that can only be toppled by scoring no points at this round and having a low finish at the final, which seems unlikely. The fan focus will be on whether the steadily improving Aletha Osgaard can take the Stoke from winning the US Open, $15,000 in the back pocket, and go for some race wins in her home continent. I think she'll get gold before the season is out. For the elite men, a brief shout out to Dakota Norton, who defied all expectations and won the US Open last week, which everyone was stoked about. Unbelievable that he's gotten back to where he is so fast, and I'm excited to see how he goes this week. And that leaves the big battle between the exciting, the electric, the gap master himself, Jackson Goldston, versus old reliable Captain Consistent, the king of Q1, and the current commander of the series, Lloyd Bruni. There's exactly 100 points separating them, and interestingly, if Jackson was to finish first in Q1 and race in Lake Placid, and then win the race in MSA, as only the final round gives points for finals, and Loic finished in second at all of those, Loic and Jackson would actually draw in points for the overall. How cool! The decider would then come down to race wins, and Jackson would take it by a landslide, but I don't know the last time a downhill series ended with first and second drawing on points. Let me know if you've got that stat. Oh, if you're playing Pinkbike Fantasy League, do not forget to update your team by the end of day on Thursday. I had an absolute shocker in Lenzerheide, so I fully cleared out my roster, started from the ground up. Budget picks for this round would be Jackson Connolly, who's found his form late season and is now on a roll, and Aaron Gwynn, because, well, I mean, he helped make the track. Oh yeah, Ryan Pinkerton is without a doubt the cheapest rider with a very real chance of winning. We've got some really exciting vids coming up, so stay tuned and let me know who you think will take the win this weekend.